I used to dismiss my curiosity about investing because I thought that I needed credentials that I just didn't have. Every time I'd wonder, should I buy that stock in that company or should I even consider a particular investment? I'd shut it down. I either thought I was too young or I was too old or I didn't have enough money or because I didn't have a financial degree. But after I started using AI regularly, it changed my thinking. As in, I can use AI to be my thinking partner and financial education. So when I would see something confusing online or I'd hear something on MSNBC that I just didn't understand, I'd quickly go over to ChatGPT, put in the terms and ask it questions about what I had just heard. And I'd ask it to simplify it in a way so that I could understand it. If I had a particular goal that I was trying to do, or if I had a particular thing I was considering investing, I'd say, hey, let's go over this company's financials. Let's map out a bull, bear, and base case for it. And it helped me to think in terms of financial literacy that before I didn't get the jargon, but now that I had AI, it was helping it to explain it in a way that I can even find learning more fun. I've been curious about financial markets since I was about 15. I have these thoughts about, I wonder if this company has any stock in it, or can I buy a piece of that company? But I immediately would dismiss those thoughts. I thought I was just too young and I didn't have any money anyway. So what did it matter? And my father, who made very good income, came from a family without generational wealth from business or investments. He trusted his advisors to make his financial decisions, but he couldn't teach me what he hadn't practiced himself. So, fast forward into my late 30s and my 40s, I went through a series of disruption that would have completely destabilized me if I hadn't started learning about investments and Bitcoin back in 2017. A new job that I had just started stopped paying me. I ended up in unemployment and then a high stress daycare position that completely wrecked my hormones. Then I'd had to leave that job within 6 months. Then came sporadic part time work. And finally, I met a wonderful family and they gave me a caregiver position. And then the pandemic came and everything got shut down. But here's what saved me. That Bitcoin that invested in earlier kept me afloat. It gave me the breathing room that I needed to move in back with my family and do a complete reset. So now, while I manage my mother's household, I can focus fully on building my Bitcoin mining business and also looking for other Black women educators who are transitioning to entrepreneurs and investors, just like I am. You're thinking to yourself, hey, I love this idea of going out and learning about investing. I'm excited to learn about investing, but you may be thinking, you know what? I might have I've gotten too late, or I missed the boat on various other things, or I should have bought into it then, but now it's too late for me. And I want to dismiss that particular point. So what I didn't know at 15, I do know now. And the thing about it is, it's never too late to start learning, especially now that we have certain tools and we have the internet. Now is the best time to start wherever you are. So I'd like to talk about three different points that I find really important if you're going to start an investment over 40 years old. So the first thing that I want you to think about is you acknowledge what you lack in time, you make up in experience. So some opportunities, of course, you have already missed the boat. That's fine. You can't get everything that comes by, but that's what the fact that you have age and hopefully some wisdom because you have life experience. You don't have to jump on every boat. You have seen a couple of cycles of things. You've probably gone through some types of ups and downs because you just had more life experience. And you know that it's better even to have discernment than to jump on the next best thing that you see or the next trend that you see happening. If it doesn't look perfect at the beginning, if you tried it or did it or know the fundamentals, you're probably making a good decision because you just needed it to play out. So when I was 15, and I was curious about a certain company, I didn't know exactly where that particular company was going to go, but I didn't have the time or life experience to see if similar things work or if this is a game changing paradigm or what. I just didn't know. This also happened early when I was in the crypto space as I tried to join every particular crypto that there was, the newest thing coming out, and there's so much noise that you get blinded by shiny objects. I can see the difference between trying to chase after every individual crypto or with just sticking with Bitcoin, which is new enough that it's going to be a game changer. So I'm early enough in this space, but it's becoming more and more mature as it's being incorporated into the traditional financial system. If I didn't have any life experience to know that a lot of the different cryptos out here are just fly by nights and shiny objects, I wouldn't have the patience to see, okay, this has some legs, this is going to grow. It may be down right now, but I know it's going to be okay moving forward, especially looking around at the larger space of experienced people in the space. My second point is that you have to give yourself time, as in do not think in days, but you need to think in decades. So I've attempted to do day trading. I'm sure there are plenty of wonderful traders out there. I just know I'm not one of them. I'm not good at timing. I'm not that great at technical. I don't like looking at charts all day, but I am very good at learning the fundamentals of a company, recognizing value or something that is undervalued for where we're going, and just plunking some amount of money on it and sitting on it and letting it be. For me, it is the best and easiest way is to not to become a trader, but to become an investor. I am becoming a better and better investor as I go along. And that's the type of wealth accumulator I am. That's my wealth archetype. I'm very good at recognizing the trend and where it's going forward, seeing, this is an undervalued asset, hopping in at some point. It doesn't matter if it's early or late because I know with experience that time in the market is better than timing the market. People will try to tell you all day how, they're a trader and they can make lots of money and they did 60% this year. But if you had a bad year or it was a wonky market like it was for Bitcoin last year, if I only look at that one particular snapshot, the year last year, I would have completely avoided getting into Bitcoin or buying a Bitcoin mining rig. But because I have a wider snapshot of of almost, let's see, 2017. So I have 8 years experience of seeing this asset class and how it works and learning about it. That's why I felt confident in buying a Bitcoin mining rig because I know within the next 2, 3 years, that would have been 10 years. So I will be able to make up in lost time because of how fast and quickly the asset moves, how quickly it's gained momentum even though it goes down, the drawdowns are not as long, and I know moving forward, as more and more people who hold real wealth get into the space, I feel a lot more secure because I know the space is maturing. So, I feel pretty confident that within those 10 years' time, my investment with its up and down, even with me have selling back in 2020, I still would have done well. So, the third point that I wanted to make was that we are early to this financial reset. AI really came in and it completely changed the game for everyone. That means we're almost going back to the starting line where not just individuals, but also companies and corporations are looking at which employees do we need to keep as opposed to reducing our labor count or giving the work over to someone who can use AI to assist their process in getting their work done. And while it's very challenging and it's a little scary going into this new world and changing your thinking, those who I would say remain flexible and curious and are adaptable, or who had at least seen some experience in life as they've gotten through something. Those are the people who I feel are really best prepared to navigate this new world because you have discernment, because you've gained wisdom. You can think more strategically about how to use the expertise that you have and make good financial investment decisions going forward, incorporating this new world of AI that we're going to be going into. So for those of you who are, a little bit like, hey, I'm too late. No, you're not. This is the time. Now is the time. So start using AI to do research. Start paying attention to people who have 20, 30 years experience in the financial world and start listening to their podcasts. Start going to financial conventions. Start going to fintech or technical conventions. Start going to cryptocurrency convention. These are the type of things where people in the space are beginning to discuss these ideas. They're planning out the future going forward. And because we have access to the internet, you don't necessarily have to attend it in person. You can see video recordings of it right on here on YouTube. Take the link and use Google Notebook LM. Feed that link to that Notebook LM and it will do a whole audio summary giving you the most important point that might be helpful. You can even ask interactive questions to Notebook LM if you are a little bit confused about something that they're talking about. So we have so much access to information. We're moving into a new paradigm, but if you're over 40, you have the gift of experience and time and hopefully patience to navigate this new world that we're going into. And if you happen to have children, you can be the person going with them, helping them to walk them through it. If they have questions about what's going on, you can learn together. I'm really curious to see how the people who are working in education now, the teachers and educators who are trying to navigate this transition. I'm really curious to see what we can build together to help others, especially the young people, transition into the world that we're going into. So that I believe will be my next video is specifically talking to the educators, almost like a manifesto, if you will, of moving into this new world, transitioning into the world of just just being considered a teacher into I am a thought leader in this world that we're moving into. So that was what I wanted to talk about today. And if you have any ideas that you are pondering with or you're playing with, some things that you're thinking about investing, I'd really like to know what they are in the comments. If there's a company that you're looking at or that you're curious about, maybe I should do a deep dive on a particular stock or company, I'd really like to hear it. Please suggest them in the comments below. And until next time, take care. I'll see you later. Bye bye.